Welcome to this week's adventure on the Dimestore Fishermen. This one's going to be a blast. We're in Red Deer County, Alberta. We're going to be going out on the Red Deer County Country Drive and meeting some really special Albertans. We're also going to get out on Pine Lake and Sylvan Lakes, respectively, and we're doing some walleye fishing with a guy who really knows his stuff. Don't you go anywhere. Stay right where you are for today's adventure on the Dimestore Fishermen.
When you head out on the water with the Dime Store, you'll see paradise ain't too far from shore. We meet again on the water, bringing you our latest adventure. Our hearts begin to beat faster. Can't wait to hook up with the long girl. Always a good time here at the Dime Store.
Great game, great fishing.
All right, here we go, not fooling around. Talk about another one on the go. And it's frenetic, ladies and gentlemen. We got fish happening here. This guy is a walleye fisherman in Alberta, ladies and gentlemen. Originally from Flin Flon, worked for SRD for 35 years here in Alberta. And this thing's taking you on a ride. He wants to fight, making a Dimestore decision right in front of the boat here. Oh my gosh, that's a nice size walleye. That is a nice size walleye. Buddy, that is a beauty fish.
That's a 3-pounder, eh?
That is a 3-pound walleye. There we go. Look at the size and the girth. Oh, and there he goes, and back in the water. There we go. Nice fish, Kevin. That was a gorgeous walleye. Talk about a nice, big, girthy, chunky walleye. Buddy, do you get him in here like that often?
Quite often, yeah.
We came through this area, and you'll see the area behind us, and there were a number of structure areas. And of course, we want to encourage you to come on out here and give the walleye fishery a try. And I really like the way that Kevin handled it. He had it up and over the boat so that if it does come off, ladies and gentlemen, and back at it, it's not hitting its head on the side of the boat. He knew, he's an experienced angler. Get it out and over the boat, so good job, buddy. Kevin, for the people at home, you know a lot about these fisheries. You spend a lot of time on them. What's going on here in Pine Lake and has been happening for the last number of years?
Well, as far as the fishing goes, in the mid-80s and 70s, there was known as a perch fishery because there was virtually no walleye and no pike left that were able to keep the numbers of perch down. So the anglers did a lot of fishing for the only available fish that was left was perch. So when the new regulations for walleye came in the early 90s, they closed the keeping of walleye, which allowed walleye to come back. And they put a 3 over 63 centimeter limit on the pike and allowed those numbers to come back. So now we have a more balanced fishery because the perch are being kept under control by the pike and the walleye.
Yeah, and so, you know, being right here just south of Red Deer's no small town anymore. I mean, it's got a serious population. You've got Edmonton an hour and a half north, Calgary an hour and a half south, and really, for all intents and purposes, there's just a lot of traffic that's going to come through here. So you don't just have what is the resident domestic population, but you've also got people who are visiting the resident domestic population. That means a lot of visitors and a lot of people fishing.
I'm sure it's like you were telling us that you caught your first fish here, and I'm sure that's true of many residents in central Alberta.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Here we go, and we were just about to move down a little bit, and I just pitched down that way, and I saw it knock once, and then there it was to knock twice. And very nice and moving nicely in the water. What a beautiful walleye this is. And we're gonna grab our net here and bring this walleye towards us. He really took it down, so I'm expecting that he should have it down. There we go, nice fish. All the way, no, he just got it right on the lips, so we should be able to get in there and get that hook out of there relatively easily, and sure as heck, there it is. So barbless will do the work here, there we go. Oh, now, here's a fish that's been hit a little bit. Maybe by some other fish. Take a look at that. Back down in the water for a safe live release. There we go. Oh, a shower to boot. Shower to boot, not too shabby, not too bad. 2 thumbs up right here on Pine Lake. And so we were sliding down, and you can see Kevin's got the reins, he's got the reins, and he's just kind of ever so lightly letting us down a little bit. But again, on the slip bobber rig, and just bob, and then bang, there it was. And now Pine Lake, it's waiting. Walleye are in here. You know what I'm saying.
Well, Country Drive has been going for quite a few years, and it's expanded as it's grown and people have gotten to know more about it. It's an awesome opportunity for people to get out into the country, because a lot of people don't have a connection to the country anymore. So you and I might have had grandparents or aunts or uncles, or myself, I lived here. So I had my friends would come because that was their connection to the farm. But so many people now don't have a connection to the farm, and this is an invitation to the from the rural community to say, come on out. This is a chance for you to connect to the rural area right in the Red Deer County.
Now we've got some berries, pretty big time.
We've got some berries.
Right on. Thank you so much, Leona, for your time and for all the great information.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you came to the Jungle Farm.
Yeah, I think now we're on our way. We're on our country drive.
Off to the next location.
That's the deal.
That is good. Well, and there's lots of great places to go in this county, so I'm glad you chose ours to stop.
Well, thank you for having us. Right on. This is where we start looking at animals, and we can see our kids and our family down here, gang, and you can see how engaged they are. Okay, they love it. You can just see that. They're looking at that stuff, and that's what you find. They're enamored, aren't they, by the wildlife and the farm animals?
I just like having lots of fun animals, right? So we're not talking about just like a herd of sheep or something like that. We're gonna check out some chickens here. I think we have 6 different kinds of chickens on the farm. We've got a miniature pot-bellied pig, some donkeys, like some really fun animals for kids. So let's check it out here right now. We've got out of the 6 different kinds of chickens we have, none lay a white egg. We're talking about like green eggs, brown eggs, chocolate brown eggs.
Hi, how are ya?
Good.
Good, that's pretty big time. Are you about to feed an animal?
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna do? Okay. My, oh my. All right, so now, happy kids, moving on. Where are we going?
Probably the showcase of the farm is our mazes, our sunflower and corn maze. So we're gonna dip into one of the mazes here, take a small little path and go up to Sundial Mountain. To do all of our mazes, the 12 to 15 acres, depending on the year, it can take up to an hour and a half or 2 hours to complete.
Oh, wow.
You know, but a lot of people come to the farm with young kids and they don't want to be lost in the cornfield for 2 hours. So we always put together a little maze that takes 5 or 10 minutes, and that's great for, you know, grandparents who come up with their grandchildren. So that's what we're heading into right now, is a Staples Easy Maze.
So this is an active farm that's also a recreational area for families. Red Deer County, Country Drive weekend. John Mills, you're doing a great job, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, and now we're gonna get back out on the Country Drive. This is all happening here in Alberta. Country Drive, so now Country Drive, let's talk on that because I wanna make sure we get our information out. There's a spring, and that's the last weekend of May. And you talked about that's when you guys really have something big time going on.
We have big time. We have our Asparagus Festival every year, the last weekend in May, and it's a huge celebration. We have chefs from the city here. We've had the chefs from River Cafe in Calgary come out, from Divine Restaurant at Okotoks. It's those really good restaurants that put the farmers' names on the menus. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you see the farmers' names, and it's not one of those plastic menus. You know you've found a good restaurant.
There we go. Oh, and I just had one myself. We had a double, but I'm gonna bring this in right now. He's really working you. He's jamming you. And this fish is...
Ooh, look at the golden colors there, eh?
Oh, there we go. Here it is. Nice stuff. This is a nice walleye, and into the net it goes. Oh, what a girthy, beautiful, big, healthy walleye. What a beauty. And there goes the hook. Barbless does the work. What a beautiful, big walleye. Look at the girth on that. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Let's get that back down into the water for a safe live release, Kevin. Good job, and off he goes. Oh my goodness gracious. Pine Lake walleye fishing. Who would have thought it possible? And Kevin, you have, sir, worked an incredible career with sustainable resource development. You are an avid angler. You love to hunt. You're an outdoorsman. This is remarkable. We've got the fall colors lining us out right here. We can see the development here on Pine Lake.
And there's nobody on the water but us.
And there's nobody on the water but us. And you just said it, and it's Friday. Now what do you say? More walleye, they're here.
They're here.
They're here, and they're big.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a chance for a 5-pound, 6-pound one here, so.
A big part of the enjoyment we get doing our jobs is the chance to visit with special Canadians doing remarkable things in their communities. When we learned we'd be attending Red Deer County, going on a country drive, and fishing some great Alberta fisheries with some accomplished local anglers, we knew we were in for a great time. On this episode, we traveled south of Edmonton, Alberta to Red Deer County. During this adventure, we would be fishing Pine Lake, located just southeast of the city of Red Deer, and also Sylvan Lake, located west of the city of Red Deer. While in Edmonton, we stayed with our fine friends at the 4 Points by Sheraton, located at 7230 Argyle Road. Our rooms were spacious and comfortable, thanks to the super team at 4 Points by Sheraton in Edmonton. We also had a great opportunity to participate in the Country Drive, which is an invitation to discover rural life, attractions, heritage, and local cuisine and markets in central Alberta. We visited a few locations, beginning with the reportedly century-old Jungle Farm, located near Innisfail, Alberta. Our hostess, Leona, spent some time describing her business for us. This is a working farm where families and visitors can come and access healthy local food, get some physical exercise, and create lasting memories. We went out into the strawberry fields together with our baskets. Leona showed us what makes a great strawberry and how to pick the really good ones. Thanks, Leona. We also attended the Bowden Sunmaze, which is a short drive southwest from Red Deer. Here we met with John Mills, who's a special Albertan with a mind to providing families and children with really fun things to do on his farm. We walked together while John described the different activities on the farm. There are mazes that are cut out of the corn and sunflower fields. We also met with some very happy children as they paid a visit with the farm animals. There were definitely some big smiles. John also showed us the U-Pick flower gardens. Big time thanks to John for his enthusiasm. Our final stop on our country drive was at Edgar Farms, which is located a short drive west of Innisfail, Alberta. This farm is reportedly also over 100 years old and part of a 6th-generation heritage of ownership dating back to 1907. Elna Edgar took time from her busy schedule to show us around the Edgar farm, where one of the crops they grow is asparagus, which is not a commonly grown crop in Alberta. We took a wagon ride around the property as Elna described life on the farm, and Elna's granddaughter Megan showed us how to pick asparagus and loved picking and showing us peas. We thoroughly enjoyed driving around Red Deer County, visiting with just a few of the participating businesses during our time on the Country Drive. This drive happens 4 times yearly, and we encourage our viewers to learn more by going online. We had a chance to do some stream fishing with local fishing guide Bruce Tilbrook. Bruce is an accomplished fly fisherman who has a great deal of experience fishing for brown trout on some of Alberta's premier small streams. We had a wonderful time fly fishing in an advanced to expert up and down casting fishery. These types of streams really require the angler's focus and attention, and are best experienced one-on-one with your guide. Thanks for all your time and effort, Bruce. We also had a chance to fish with Mr. Kevin Wingert. Kevin is an avid outdoorsman who has decades of experience fishing. He took time to fish for walleye with us on Pine Lake and Sylvan Lake. We caught a lot of good quality fish and want to thank Kevin for his time and effort. Thanks, Kevin. Our trip to Red Deer County was an eye-opening experience. There's a great deal to do and see in this region of Alberta. Thanks to everyone who made our time so much fun.
Mr. Walleye.
Another walleye going on, and in the weeds, Kevin getting her done. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Spectacular. Here we go, good stuff. Oh, and it's fighting you around and just really moving around those weeds. It wants no part of coming up here. And just got its head into that weed. And there we go. And there we go. Good job getting that up. Good work. Barbless is going to do the work. Sylvan Lake walleye fishing. Beautiful walleye. Just a really nice, healthy golden walleye. I think that one's good to go back in, Kevin. And he's going to get it back in for a safe live release. And you can see the majestic backdrop of fall colors that we have going on right now. Really special. And Kevin, another walleye in Sylvan Lake. Right here, people can get into great walleye fishing.
They certainly can, yeah.
Spectacular. Now we're back at it. That's what I'm saying. One fish at a time. You know how we do it.
Cast of the Day on the Dimestore Fishermen is being brought to you by
Oh, you got one too?
I got one too.
Oh.
Another double header on the Dimestore. And it feels like a couple of winkies, but we'll take them, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, dialing it up. And now I'm just gonna bring him straight up. This little fella, I think I can help this little fella out. And there we go.
Barely in the roof of the mouth.
Just in the roof of the mouth on the pickup. Beautiful walleye, very, very nice. And he's still got a little fin coming out of his mouth, and we're just gonna put him back down into the water with a little torpedo. He kind of went belly flop, but spectacular. So another double header on Sylvan Lake. And we're out here today. I'm with Kevin the Walleye Whisperer Winger, 35 years with Sustainable Resource Development here in Alberta, recently retired, and a great Albertan, a great Canadian for serving his community. Kevin, we're dialing up walleye on a fishery that, quite frankly, sir, most people would say there's no walleye in Sylvan Lake, just the same way they'd say there's no walleye in Pine Lake. And if you haven't already seen the segment we did on Pine Lake, I'm sure you'll see it next week. But we're dialing up walleye in both. Fantastic, healthy fisheries.
And we're catching them just about anywhere that we stop and choose to fish. It's really nice to see.
It really is, and it's because of a catch and release policy that was implemented as a management strategy by Sustainable Resource Development. And I go a lot of places and I hear, you know, they got to introduce fish, they got to stock fish. There are a lot of very good reasons, and most of them scientific, for why SRD and fisheries biologists make the decisions they do. And I was just in a community where I had a pretty impassioned discussion with a local angler who really knows his water. He's a great guy, but he was saying, let's introduce fish, let's restock fish. And kind of my comment on that was, you have to understand that without being able to get a reasonable census and understand the population in a watershed, that there really are only so many year-class fish that can be in a water system and really be there at the same time in a healthy way. And when you introduce a number of fish, really there are so many reasons why that can stunt development.
You upset the natural processes that are going on, and it can mean bad things for the most part, is what our scientists in SRD have found out. So
you're seeing it, healthy walleye fishing on Sylvan Lake. Big time fun, one after another, gang. That's what we do. Here we go. All right, good job, Kevin. Guy is a walleye catching machine, no question. And in the weeds. And I just made the comment I'm going to switch to the jig, and I can see why I should switch to the jig. This guy can catch fish with the best of them, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, there we go. Nice walleye. Nice walleye. There's a beauty. What a gorgeous walleye. Look at that. Beautiful, nice big dorsal, and we can get that one back down into the water. Safe live release coming in at about 17.5 inches. And really a healthy fishery here. And you can see the motion of the ocean giving us a little bit of movement. But I gotta say, my experience has been, now you can tell us here on Sylvan or on Pine if this chop really helps the fishing.
Well, that's, in Alberta, what we do call this is a walleye chop. So it is blustery for special technique fishing, but with a heavy jig, you're able to hold it in the water, and the walleye seem to really come up and start to feed when they get a chop on the water.
And it's kind of that light bending and hitting the water with the chop, really distorting that light a little bit more. And they're low light dwellers, we know that. That has everything to do with it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It allows them a little better chance at chasing down prey because the minnows get disoriented from the changing light patterns, and they take advantage of that because they're a top predator in this lake.
Now, more walleye Motion of the ocean, that's what I'm saying. Good stuff, Sylvan Lake style. If anybody had told me that Pine Lake and Sylvan Lake were going to produce walleye like that, I might not have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. And that's the beauty of this show, isn't it? That you get to see it with your own eyes. Special thanks to Kevin and to Donna and all of the families that made our Red Deer County Country Drive so much fun. Until next time, I'm the real Jim Hoy. We're going to see you right here on the Dimestore Fishermen. Here you go, Cal, from me to you, a pea offering, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Pretty cool.
Now when you need to stock these brown trout on these little spring creeks, you need a good camo. Little ghillie hat here, little natural foliage, and just peek through. Quiet, slow movements.
Just missed a tree. Ooh, getting closer. Let it go through. There you go.
Fish on. Fish on. Oh, and he's off. Did you see that? Did you get it, Durs? Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Really exciting stuff. So, you know, I'm going to give the credit right here to the man who needs the credit.
Oh.
This is my guy right here, Bruce. And Tilbrook fishing for 42 years since '69. Is that right, buddy?
That's a fact, sir.